The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, broken only by the soft hum of the salvage vessel Horizon Breaker. Captain J. Park sat in the command chair, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays that flickered with constellation maps and distant star readings. Something felt different about this particular sector of space, a feeling that crawled down his spine like a cold whisper. Yuna Kim, the ship's chief engineer, adjusted her monitoring systems. Her fingers moved quickly across the touchscreen, scanning for any unusual readings. The ship's interior was quiet, with only the gentle mechanical breathing of advanced equipment breaking the silence. "Captain," Yuna called out, her voice cutting through the ship's ambient sounds. "I'm detecting something strange." Jay leaned forward, his interest piqued. Years of deep space salvage missions had taught him to trust Yuna's instincts. She was known for her uncanny ability to detect anomalies that others would miss. The external sensors began picking up massive energy signatures. At first, they looked like distant shadows, but as the Horizon Breaker moved closer, the shadows transformed into massive spacecraft. Enormous vessels hung motionless, their metallic surfaces reflecting the distant starlight like frozen mirrors. "These aren't typical derelict ships," Sung Ho, the science officer, muttered from his station. His hands moved swiftly, running complex analysis algorithms on the detected vessels. The fleet was enormous. Dozens of ships, each larger than any human-made spacecraft, created a haunting graveyard in the middle of unexplored space. No signs of damage were immediately visible. No debris, no scattered wreckage, just complete, eerie stillness. Jay felt a chill run down his spine. Something about this discovery felt different. These weren't abandoned ships. They felt like something more. A message, a warning, a secret waiting to be uncovered. "Initiate detailed scanning protocols," Jay commanded, his voice steady but filled with underlying excitement. Yuna and Sung Ho worked in perfect synchronization. Their fingers danced across holographic interfaces, collecting data, analyzing energy signatures, mapping the fleet's complex structure. Each scan revealed more questions than answers. The ship seemed to be constructed from materials unknown to human technology. Their design suggested an advanced civilization far beyond current human engineering capabilities. Smooth, almost organic. Lines curved and intersected in patterns that seemed to defy traditional geometric understanding. As the Horizon Breaker's sensors probed deeper, strange electromagnetic pulses began emerging from the fleet. They weren't random. There was a pattern, a rhythm that suggested intentional communication. But communication of what? A warning? A distress signal? Or something else entirely? Sung Ho's eyes widened as initial data streams began forming coherent information. "Captain," he said, his voice trembling slightly, "these they're not just abandoned. Something happened here. Something big." Fragments of encrypted data started streaming through the ship's computer systems. Complex algorithms worked tirelessly to break through layers of quantum encryption that seemed to shift and change with each attempt. Jay watched the screens, understanding that they were witnessing something extraordinary. This wasn't just another salvage mission. This was a discovery that could potentially change everything humanity knew about space, technology, and their place in the universe. The fleet continued to drift silently, holding its secrets close. Massive hull sections reflected starlight, creating an almost beautiful tableau of technological marvel and mysterious abandonment. Each ship seemed to whisper stories of a civilization lost to time and space. As hours passed, the Horizon Breaker maintained its careful approach. Every movement was calculated, every scan precise. They were treading into unknown territory, aware that one wrong move could mean losing this incredible discovery forever. Yuna looked up from her console, her face a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "We're about to break through the first layer of encryption," she announced. The entire crew held their breath. Whatever was about to be revealed would change everything they thought they knew about the universe. In that moment, suspended between discovery and the unknown, The Horizon Breaker's destiny was about to be written. The first encrypted data core pulsed with an intense blue light, casting strange shadows across the Horizon Breaker's research station. Sung-Ho adjusted his neural interface. Special glasses designed to help decode complex alien encryption rapidly blinking as streams of unknown symbols danced across their surface. "This isn't standard encryption," he muttered, more to himself than to anyone else. "These algorithms, they're alive." Captain J. Park watched carefully. Years of experience had taught him that alien technologies were never straightforward. Each symbol, each digital fragment could potentially hold universe-changing information. Yuna Kim worked alongside Sung-Ho, her fingers moving with surgical precision across multiple holographic interfaces. Complex mathematical sequences began breaking down, revealing glimpses of something extraordinary. The first breakthrough came unexpectedly. A sudden burst of information revealed fragments of a massive conflict. Not just a war, but a systematic elimination of an entire civilization. Images flickered. Massive spacecraft engaged in battle, planetary destruction, technological weapons that defied current human understanding. "Look at this," Sung-Ho whispered, rotating a three-dimensional projection that showed massive energy, signatures unlike anything humans had ever conceived. The projection revealed cities, if they could be called cities, floating in space. Structures that seemed to breathe and move, constructed from materials that existed between solid and energy states. Technology so advanced it seemed almost magical. Layers of encryption continued falling. Each decoded fragment told a more complex story. This wasn't just about a civilization's destruction. Something deeper, more sinister lurked beneath the surface. Temperature in the research chamber dropped slightly. The alien data cores seemed to pulse with an almost sentient rhythm, as if they were watching the human team's attempts to understand their secrets. Yuna noticed something strange. Certain encryption patterns repeated with mathematical precision, almost like a DNA sequence. "These aren't just random codes," she said, her voice filled with excitement. "These are instructions. Instructions for what remained the burning question." The more they decoded, the more complex the story became. Evidence suggested this civilization had been technologically superior to humans by thousands, perhaps millions of years. Their understanding of quantum mechanics, energy manipulation, and spatial dynamics made human technology look like primitive stone tools. Sung-Ho's neural interface suddenly sparked, overloaded by the massive information transfer. Complex diagrams of unknown propulsion systems, communication networks that could potentially span entire galaxies, and weapon systems that could destroy planets with a mere thought began streaming through. "Captain," Sung-Ho called, his voice trembling. "I think we've discovered something that could change everything we know about technology and survival." The alien data cores continued pulsing. Each decoded fragment revealed more questions than answers. What happened to this civilization? Why were these massive ships abandoned? What force could potentially destroy something so technologically advanced? Fragments suggested a conflict so massive, so devastating that entire star systems had been erased from existence. The encryption hinted at an enemy so terrifying that even this advanced civilization couldn't survive. J. Park understood. They were standing at the precipice of a discovery that could rewrite human history. These weren't just abandoned ships, they were a message, a warning. As hours turned into days, the team worked tirelessly. Sleep became optional. Food was consumed quickly between decryption attempts. The research station became a cocoon of intense concentration, with alien symbols dancing across screens and holographic projections creating an otherworldly atmosphere. The final breakthrough came unexpectedly. A sudden burst of information that revealed coordinates, star systems, potential locations of something massive, something that could change everything. Yuna looked at Jay, her eyes wide with a mixture of excitement and fear. "We're not just looking at a dead civilization's records," she said softly. "We might be looking at a roadmap to humanity's next evolutionary step." The alien data cores continued pulsing, waiting, watching, holding secrets that could potentially save or destroy humanity. The first prototype emerged from the Horizon Breakers research lab like a child of two worlds. Part human engineering, part alien miracle. Jay Park stared in silent wonder as the small device hummed with an energy that seemed to defy everything they understood about physics. Sung Ho's hands moved carefully, calibrating systems that looked more like living organisms than machines. The device, no larger than a basketball, contained technologies that could revolutionize human space exploration in ways nobody could have imagined. Propulsion efficiency is beyond anything we've ever seen, Una muttered, her eyes locked on the streaming data. This single component could make our current spacecraft look like wooden boats compared to nuclear submarines. The alien technology wasn't just advanced, it was transformative. Initial tests showed capabilities that seemed impossible. The prototype could generate its own energy field, manipulate gravitational forces, and create micro-wormhole tunnels that could potentially reduce interstellar travel from decades to mere hours. Government agencies began showing intense interest. Secret communications flooded in from research centers around the world. Military organizations started making discreet inquiries. Everyone wanted a piece of this technological breakthrough. But Jay knew they couldn't simply hand over something this powerful. Each test revealed another layer of complexity. The alien technology seemed to adapt, to learn. It wasn't just a machine. It was almost like a living system that could understand and modify itself based on environmental conditions. Communication networks extracted from the abandoned fleet suggested technologies that could revolutionize how humans connected across vast distances. Quantum entanglement systems that could transmit information instantaneously, breaking every known limitation of current communication technologies. Medical scanners developed from recovered alien data showed potential for healing techniques that could eliminate diseases, repair genetic damage, and potentially extend human lifespans dramatically. This isn't just technology, Sung Ho explained during one research briefing. This is a complete technological ecosystem. Each component is connected, designed to work in perfect harmony. Energy production systems could solve global power challenges. Transportation technologies could eliminate fossil fuel dependencies. Communication networks could connect humanity in ways never before possible. The prototype continued its quiet hum. Sometimes Una swore she could hear it breathing. Corporate representatives began making offers, massive contracts, billions of dollars. But Jay understood that this discovery was worth more than money. This was about humanity's future. Preliminary tests showed the technology could be adapted across multiple sectors: manufacturing, medical research, space exploration, energy production, transportation. Each sector would be fundamentally transformed. The alien technology didn't just improve existing systems, it reimagined them completely. Sung Ho discovered that the technology contained self-learning algorithms more advanced than any human-created artificial intelligence. It could analyze problems, create solutions, and adapt faster than any human team could comprehend. "We're not just looking at a technological breakthrough," he told Jay one evening. "We're looking at a complete evolutionary jump for human civilization." Government pressure increased. Military teams wanted controlled access. Research institutions demanded collaborative rights. But Jay and his team understood the risks of letting this technology fall into the wrong hands. The prototype continued its quiet revolution, humming, waiting, promising a future where human limitations could be completely redefined. Una looked at the device, understanding they were holding something that could change everything. Not just technology, not just human potential, but the very understanding of what it meant to be human. As night fell across the research station, the alien prototype continued its silent promise of transformation, a beacon of hope, a key to humanity's next great leap. The revolution had begun. Government special forces surrounded the Horizon Breakers research facility under the guise of national security. Heavily armed agents dressed in black tactical gear moved with calculated precision, their weapons trained on the research team. Captain Jay Park understood immediately. This wasn't a rescue mission, this was a takeover. Una Kim had anticipated this moment. Hidden backup systems activated silently, creating digital escape routes and protective firewalls. Years of preparation meant they were never going to be caught completely off guard. "We knew this would happen," Jay whispered to Sung-ho. His hand subtly pressed a small transmitter hidden in his watch, a signal to their underground network. Within moments, critical research data began transferring through quantum-encrypted channels. Massive terabytes of alien technology information scattered across multiple secure locations, making it impossible for any single organization to control the entire discovery. The lead government agent, a stern-faced man named Colonel Park, no relation to Jay, demanded immediate surrender of all research materials. "This is a matter of national security," he declared, his voice cold and calculated. Sung-ho had already prepared for this scenario. Decoy research drives were strategically placed, looking authentic but containing nothing more than basic operational data. The real information was already miles away, distributed through a network of independent scientists and researchers. Corporate representatives began arriving. Massive technology companies sent their most skilled negotiators, each hoping to gain exclusive rights to the alien technology. Billion-dollar contracts were discussed in hushed conversations, promising potential global transformations. But Jay's team had a different plan. They understood that centralizing such powerful technology would be dangerous. Humanity wasn't ready for an immediate, unrestricted technological leap. The potential for misuse was too high. Underground networks of scientists, engineers, and researchers began receiving carefully encrypted data packages. Each package contained fragments of technological insights, designed to be studied and developed independently. Global communication channels started buzzing. Independent research groups in different countries began comparing notes, sharing discoveries, creating a distributed network of technological development that no single government or corporation could control. The alien technology's potential was staggering. Energy solutions that could eliminate fossil fuel dependency, medical technologies that could cure previously untreatable diseases, communication systems that could connect humanity in unprecedented ways. Colonel Park's team realized they were losing control. Every attempt to contain the information resulted in more widespread distribution. Their traditional methods of suppression were failing against a network that moved faster than bureaucratic systems. Corporate interests became increasingly aggressive. Attempted hacks, digital infiltration attempts, physical surveillance. But UNIS cybersecurity systems were built using fragments of the alien technology itself, making traditional attack methods obsolete. Sung-ho discovered something more profound. The alien technology seemed to have a form of self-preservation programming. Attempts to isolate or control it resulted in unexpected system responses, almost as if the technology was protecting itself. "It's not just a technological system," Sung-ho explained to Jay. "It's a living network. It adapts. It protects itself." Global media started catching wind of the story. Rumors of a massive technological breakthrough spread like wildfire. Public interest grew, creating additional pressure on government and corporate attempts to control the information. Independent researchers around the world began sharing their initial findings, small breakthroughs, initial adaptations. Each discovery added another piece to the complex technological puzzle. Jay understood they were no longer just a research team. They had become the guardians of a technological revolution that could reshape human civilization. The conflict was brewing. Governments wanted control. Corporations wanted profit. But the technology had its own plans. And nobody, not governments, not corporations, not even the research team, fully understood what those plans might be. The revolution was no longer coming. The revolution had already begun. A small research center in South Korea successfully adapted alien energy protocols, creating a power generator that could sustain an entire city using minimal resources. Within weeks, the technology spread across research networks, bypassing traditional corporate and governmental controls. Jay Park watched the developments from a secure location, understanding they had started something unprecedented. The alien technology was no longer a secret. It was becoming a global movement. Energy systems changed first. Massive solar farms began implementing quantum efficiency protocols discovered from the alien fleet's data cores. Cities started becoming self-sustainable. Fossil fuel dependencies began crumbling rapidly. Medical research teams made breakthrough after breakthrough. Genetic repair technologies emerged. Treatments for previously incurable diseases became possible. Human biological limitations started becoming flexible concepts rather than fixed boundaries. Sung Ho tracked the global transformations through encrypted communication networks. Each breakthrough was another nail in the coffin of traditional power structures. Transportation technologies evolved next. Vehicles that could generate their own energy fields. Transportation systems that could reduce travel times by incredible margins. Commute times between continents reduced to hours instead of days. Governments tried to maintain control, but their efforts became increasingly futile. The technology was distributed, decentralized, growing like an organic network that couldn't be stopped. Communication systems transformed how humans interacted. Quantum communication networks allowed instant global connections. Language barriers disappeared with advanced translation technologies. Humanity began feeling more connected than ever before. Independent research groups became the new centers of technological development. Universities, small laboratories, and collaborative networks started driving innovation faster than massive corporate research centers. The alien technology seemed to have its own form of intelligence. It didn't just provide solutions, it guided humans towards more collaborative, sustainable approaches. Yoona Kim discovered that the technology contained intrinsic programming designed to promote collective growth. It wasn't just about technological advancement. It was about evolutionary transformation. Global economic systems began shifting. Traditional monetary structures became less relevant as energy and resource scarcity problems disappeared. Collaborative, economic models emerged, replacing competitive frameworks. Environmental restoration technologies allowed humans to begin healing damaged ecosystems. Atmospheric carbon reduction techniques, ocean cleanup systems, sustainable agricultural technologies that could feed entire continents with minimal resources. We're not just changing technology, Sung Ho told Jay during one of their secure communications. We're changing how humans understand themselves. The abandoned alien fleet became a symbol of potential, a reminder that humanity could transform itself when given the right tools. Museums started displaying recovered technology fragments, telling the story of unexpected discovery. Political boundaries started becoming less significant when energy, medical care, and communication became universally accessible. Traditional conflicts began losing their fundamental reasons for existing. Young researchers became the new global leaders. Their collaborative approach, guided by the alien technology's underlying principles, started reshaping social structures. Jay understood they had started something bigger than a technological revolution. This was a civilizational transformation. The technology continued spreading. Each breakthrough was another step towards a potential unified human potential, not controlled by governments, not driven by corporate interests, but guided by collective, human curiosity and collaborative spirit. As the first year of transformation concluded, humanity looked different, more connected, more hopeful, more unified. The revolution that started with an abandoned fleet in deep space had fundamentally changed everything.